Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Man Speak. Sorry for the delay. We were having some technical issues earlier, so we're actually starting about a minute late. And I know you guys missed our intro, that jazzy music from a band called Liquid. But I promise you, we'll bring it back next week. And I'm your co-host J.R. Stewart, and my partner in crime. Okay, so Tom, so just to let everybody know, the if you're watching the show live, the title and description is not going to be correct. We will correct it after the show. You were late to get the stream up and running, and that was my fault. We were actually trying to reconfigure our virtual studio to resolve some sound issues we've had in the past, and so we hope that we got that resolved. We'll get some feedback from our listeners and see if we've achieved our goal. So, Tom, where we're going to start this week? We didn't really pick a title last week, so it looks like we're going to be kind of open. And I was hoping that at some point we could maybe cover some of the events that are taking place this week. Okay, is it Kamala or Kamala? Okay, well, did he was this pick strategic to go after the black vote, the woman vote, or a combination of both? South Carolina, yes. Yeah, they breathed some life into it, Tom. You were being kind. Well, that is true, Tom. So before, okay, so before we get to Joe Biden and his VP pick, um, and the fact that he picked a black woman, I guess as payoff or it was a strategic choice. I want to go back a little bit. Let's go back to the crime bill that he's apologizing for. So he says he's sorry for being the architect of the Clinton crime bill. And of course, you work in that industry, in IT and telecom for the prison industry. Um, do you do you believe his apology is sincere? Because it seems to me, Tom, that if he really was sorry about what he did, why didn't he do something when he was VP? He and Obama could have fixed this. Okay, but Tom, but is his apology sincere? I mean, okay, so you maybe as VP, he couldn't convince his boss to do anything about it. But when the current administration was working on fixing that bill, especially the sentencing guidelines, he could have lent his name to it. He could have put his weight behind. He could have said, "Hey, that bill was a mistake, and I wrote it, and so I'm fully behind you guys fixing it at this point." I mean, if he was truly sincere about about what he did, he would have been doing everything in his power at some point to fix it. Yes, he could have done that. Well, just the fact that the architect of it was behind making changes to it and endorsing the fact that, we need to at least look. We had good intentions, but it's been disastrous in practical application. And so I'm okay with reviewing things and going and saying, well, hey, we intended for it to work this way. Unfortunately, it's worked out a whole different way. And so there's nothing wrong. Let's go back and tweak it and make some changes to it. Well, I don't like the Clintons. I'm just going full disclosure here, but but I kind of halfway believe Bubba when he says that he has some regrets. Um, I don't know, Tom. It must be something about those puppy dog eyes of his, man. He just looks sincere when he says "I'm sorry." So he can only he's the only one that can bring the look and the tears. Well, him and Boehner, but Bubba looks a lot more sincere than Boehner ever did. Um, so he convinces me that at least I believe he's halfway sincere when he says he has some regrets, and I do believe because Bubba had some issues, but Bubba did his best to try to please everyone. Right and left for the most part. He gave the Republicans some balanced budgets. He caved into them on welfare reform. So it wasn't like he was a strict ideologue. He wasn't an Obama. He gave to both sides. So I do believe that when he says he has some regrets about the crime bill and a few other things, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Biden, I do not give, because at no point did he ever lend a voice. Whether he could do anything about it, just his voice would have helped convince others who are on the bubble about fixing it. He has a campaigner. Okay, well that's going to lead us segue into the next segment, and I want to make sure that we save some time to talk about the coronavirus and the firing. Well, not the firing, the forced resignation or retirement of the police chief up in Seattle. The very first black lady to hold that position in the city, and she was pretty much dealing with a reduction in budget to our police department and almost a 50% pay cut. But before we get to her, let's get to finish talking about Biden, his VP selection. I want to discuss briefly the letter that was written by some prominent black men and signed by over 100 supposedly black leaders, business leaders, preachers, rappers, entertainers, and delivered to Biden, basically telling him that he better pick a black woman or else he's going to lose the election. And so, Tom, here's my outrage with it. I don't personally care how many letters you write to Joe Biden, and I don't believe it's going to make a difference. Come November, he's still going to lose. But my issue is with black men. Now, in the letter, they acknowledge how the black woman, as you put it, has been the most loyal to the Democrat Party since the 60s. I mean, white women have come and gone, white men have come and gone, black men have come and gone. But the black woman has been there through thick and thin, ride or die. And so they also acknowledge, Tom, that the Democrat Party has shown the black woman no respect during this time period. This is the very same thing I've been saying for years, trying to convince people that skank party has not done right by black people, especially black women. And so now these guys come along and want to steal my thunder. And so my question is, where in the hell have you been for the last 60 years when the party was stepping all over black women? Now you want to speak up? No, Tom. Not the organization 100 Black Men. These are just a group of 100 black men who signed a letter. No. That's a very conservative group, and I actually need to join. I need to find a local chapter here, but no, not 100 black men. This was just a group of 100 plus black men who signed this bogus letter. Tom, what discussion? We know where they've been. They've been absent. Okay, but is that right? Is that going to fix the black schools in the inner city and rural schools? Is that going to fix the infrastructure in the black community? Tom, we have more black politicians than ever before in the history of America. We keep electing more and more of them every year. And the the condition of the black people in America changes very little. Tom, we have the wrong agenda. Okay, we put a lot of energy and time and destruction into 8 to 12 deaths of black men by white officers. Now, any death is one too many, but we do not put that same energy into protecting our kids. Well, unfortunately, that is true, Tom. Hey, we may have to redo this show. Some of the listeners are saying they can't hear you. We can let's continue and then see if we need to change. Okay. Okay.
Daddy, did you let Charlie in?
Doing a show, Bray. And folks, Tommy is grabbing his earpiece to see if that makes a difference. Um, yeah, we he has two Mac devices, and one of them works, but it's a tablet, and the other one is a Mac Pro, which seems to not connect audio. Although this time around I could hear him, so we thought maybe it was working, but you guys have informed us on the chat line that you can't hear Tommy. So we're gonna test. Okay, I can hear you. And listeners, if you're out there, if you can hear Tommy, please send us a message on the chat line and let us know. Okay. I'm waiting on some feedback now. Um, oh, say something. They want you to say something, Tom. No, I think they are still not able to hear you. Okay. What about now, guys? and ladies. Well, I think we lost the video feed, Tom. Okay. And also, listeners, there is a 15-second delay on the live stream versus what you guys see. Okay, he's back. We'll have to wait a few seconds, Tom, for the live stream to stream out to people who are watching. There's about a 15-second delay. But I hear you just fine, though. All right. Yes, I hear you great. Okay. Let's see if we can get some feedback. And, okay. We should know something in about 15 seconds. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. I heard you on both devices, and that is possible that maybe it's in the virtual studio setup. Because put in new mics and let's change the way sound is funneled into the studio. Okay. Okay. So it looks like we still have some technical issues to work out. And so for that reason, guys, we may need to conclude tonight's show and pick back up next week, and once we get the technical issues worked out. Or if you guys want to, hey Tom, why don't you try this? Try dialing in on the chat line, on the phone line. No? Just call the number. Well, let me call you, Tom. I can hear you well. Well, it's because you have two devices, so you need to disconnect from one of them. Okay. Let me hang up the, there you go. So now let's see if they can hear you. So continue to talk for a few more seconds, Tom, so the delay will catch up. Okay. Okay. So then, in that case, then we will have to regroup and continue to work on the audio issue with the studio to see what's happening to your audio feed. Okay. Yeah, this we were having a pretty great discussion, um, or we may try to do a test run and let's end this stream and start recording it, and I will play it back to see if I can still hear you. So I'm going to stop the stream. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We apologize from the bottom of our heart, and we're working through some technical issues. We were trying to fix an audio issue to make the sound quality better. It looks like we may have broke something in the process, so we will continue to work on it, regroup, and we will be back next week, and we will actually continue this conversation. So please tune in next week. Give us one more chance. I know Wallace said that this cat is on his last life, but hopefully it has one more life left. And so I promise you, as we work to improve, and actually we're working to improve the quality for you guys. So we want to make sure that you can clearly see us and hear us and participate in the discussion with us. So if you will, join us next week, I promise that we'll have this worked out and resolved by then. And thank you so much.